All right, so today we're diving deep into how to absolutely crush that industrial firefighter interview. We're not
Yes.
talking your everyday fire station heroes here.
Yeah.
We're talking factories, power plants, the kind of places with hazards most people wouldn't even think about.
Right.
And you know what? You're already a step ahead just by sending in these sample interview questions. Seriously smart move.
Preparation is absolutely key in these interviews. It's your chance to really stand out and show them you're not just here for a job, you're here for this job.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump right in. We've got your questions. We've got that awesome career guide you shared. And a little birdie told me RoleCatcher might just be the secret weapon in all of this.
Oh, it can be a game changer.
But first things first.
Yeah.
Can you give us a quick rundown on what an industrial firefighter actually does day to day?
Sure, think of it as like a three-pronged approach. Prevention, response, and recovery. You're not just putting out fires, although that's a big part of it. You're making sure those fires don't even happen in the first place. We're talking hazardous materials, industrial safety protocols, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so hazardous substances, that's a big one. The career guide mentioned industrial firefighters need to be certified in handling those right.
Absolutely, those certifications are essential. But more importantly, you need to articulate why those certifications matter during an interview. For instance, let's say you're asked about a time you had to follow strict safety protocols. This is your golden opportunity to weave in that hazmat technician training. Talk about how it really instilled in you this deep respect for procedure and why that matters.
So it's not just about checking off boxes.
Mm.
It's about connecting those qualifications to real-life scenarios. That's where the aha moment happens for the interviewer.
Exactly, you've got it.
Now, on the flip side, this job isn't all adrenaline and flashing lights.
Mm.
The career guide also highlights those demanding hours and the inherent risks.
It's true, every job has its challenges.
Which brings us to our first interview question. What inspired you to become an industrial firefighter? It seems like such a simple question, but I can see how it could throw some people off.
It definitely can be tricky because they're not just asking about firefighting in general, they're asking about your why. What is it about you that makes you want to do this? Honesty and a personal touch are key here.
Right.
So what sparked that interest for you? Was it a desire to protect people or a fascination with these huge industrial processes? Maybe you have a family member who worked in a similar field.
So a genuine connection to the field is super important. How about this next question? How do you stay up to date with the latest fire safety procedures and regulations?
This is your chance to really showcase your dedication to continuous learning, which, as we know from the career guide, is a huge deal in this field. And don't just rattle off a list of certifications. Talk about specific training programs you've completed or even ones you're planning to take. Show them you're invested in staying on top of your game.
Okay, so I'm sensing a pattern here. Specific examples win every time.
100%.
It's like show, don't tell.
You got it.
Now, another question that I think trips people up is, how do you handle high-stress situations?
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
That probably just freeze up like a deer in headlights.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
But in an interview, you want to swap out those generic statements for something much more compelling. Think of a specific time you faced a truly challenging situation. It doesn't even have to be work-related. Just briefly walk them through the actions you took and the positive outcome.
So storytelling is key. And this is where I think RoleCatcher can really come in handy. Practicing those real-life examples with their AI feedback seems invaluable.
It's like having a personal coach in your pocket. It really is. And speaking of coaching, let's dive into another question you sent over. How do you ensure the safety of yourself and your team during an emergency response?
Ooh, that's a good one.
This one's all about showcasing that safety is ingrained in your approach.
Yeah, not just an afterthought,
Right. It's not something you just slap on at the end.
like a Band-Aid.
Exactly. So instead of just listing off generic safety procedures, talk about a specific situation where you proactively identified potential hazards, implemented protocols, and make sure everyone was on the same page.
Love that.
Maybe you noticed a risk during a training exercise that others overlooked. Share that story. It shows you're not just following the rules, you're actively thinking about safety in real time.
And I bet RoleCatcher's AI analysis could be really helpful here, making sure those examples are clear, concise, and impactful.
Absolutely. It's all about fine-tuning your delivery.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit to another crucial aspect highlighted in the career guide, teamwork. You sent over a question about handling disagreements, which I'm sure is a common occurrence in these high-pressure situations.
Oh, for sure. Disagreements happen all the time, especially when you're dealing with intense situations.
Right, here's a question. How do you handle conflicts or disagreements with team members during an emergency response? Just reading that makes me feel a little stressed.
I hear you. The key here is to demonstrate that you can stay calm, cool, and collected even when things get heated.
Easier said than done.
Think of a time when you disagreed with a colleague, maybe about the best way to tackle a task or just a difference of opinion. And then focus on how you listened to their perspective, communicated your own respectfully, and ultimately found a solution that worked for everyone.
So it's less about being right and more about finding that best path forward together.
Exactly. Teamwork makes the dream work right.
Okay, so let's talk about a question that I think could really make or break an interview. What experience do you have working with hazardous materials?
That's a big one.
I feel like a lot of candidates might stumble on this one if they don't have a ton of direct experience.
You're right, it's a common concern. But remember, even if you haven't been on the front lines of hazmat handling every single day, you can still really impress them with your knowledge and your preparation.
Okay, so how do you do that?
Well, first, familiarize yourself with the most common hazardous materials found in the specific industry you're applying for.
So if it's a chemical plant, you'd want to be well-versed in the specific chemicals they use.
Exactly. And if it's an oil rig, you'd focus on the hazards specific to that environment.
Industry-specific knowledge is key.
Absolutely.
But what about the practical side of things?
That's where those certifications come in. Highlight those hazmat handling courses you've taken or any other specialized training you've had. Focus on the safety protocols you've learned, the equipment you're trained to use, your ability to assess risks and follow procedures meticulously.
So even without tons of hands-on experience, you can still show them you've got the knowledge and the training to handle those situations.
Exactly. Preparation is key.
And don't be afraid to get granular here. This is where those really specific details from your training can really make you shine.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher can be super helpful with this. And it can help you organize those details and tailor them to the specific job description.
Right, because each company, each industry is going to have its own unique set of challenges and requirements.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the importance of specific examples, storytelling demonstrating a deep understanding of the job. But before we move on to our last question for today, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about RoleCatcher. Specifically, how it can help candidates tailor their answers to specific job descriptions.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorite features.
Can you elaborate on that a bit more?
Sure. One of the most powerful features of RoleCatcher is its AI-powered analysis of job descriptions. So you can actually input the specific job you're applying for, and the AI will analyze it and identify the key skills and experience they're looking for.
Wow, that's incredible.
Right.
So it's like having a secret weapon.
It's like having a personal recruiter in your back pocket, just
Okay.
helping you craft the perfect answers.
And it's not about cheating the system or anything like that. It's about using the tools available to put your best foot forward.
Exactly. It's about presenting yourself in a way that truly connects with what the employer is looking for.
Love it. All right, so we've covered so much ground today. We've talked about the importance of specific examples, storytelling, and really understanding the ins and outs of the job. But before we wrap up, I want to hit on one more thing that's come up again and again: continuous learning.
So crucial.
But we're going to save that for the grand finale, so stick around. We'll be right back after a quick break.
And we're back, ready to tackle that final interview question, and it's a big one.
Yeah, this one's all about showing them you're in it for the long haul.
It's all about continuous learning.
Right, because in this line of work, you're never really done learning.
It's not like you just learn the ropes and then coast from there. Right?
Exactly. New technologies are always emerging. Regulations change. The industries you're protecting are constantly evolving.
It's like a whole different ball game compared to even just a few years ago.
Absolutely. So you need to show them you're adaptable, you're eager to learn, and you're committed to staying ahead of the curve. So in the interview, how do you actually convey that? How do you show them you're not just ready to work today, but that you're invested in constantly upping your game?
That's the key question. And it's not just about rattling off a list of courses you want to take or certifications you're going for.
Right, because anyone can say, oh yeah, I'll do whatever training you require.
It's about demonstrating a genuine thirst for knowledge. Maybe mention a specific area within industrial firefighting that really fascinates you, something you've been reading about or researching on your own.
So instead of just passively accepting whatever training comes your way, you're actively seeking out knowledge.
Exactly. It shows initiative, it shows passion.
And it shows them you're actually interested in the field, not just looking for any job.
Exactly.
And let's be real for a second. In a field like this, where safety is absolutely paramount, that commitment to continuous learning isn't just about personal growth. It's about protecting yourself and your team.
100%.
Because staying up to date on the latest procedures, the newest technologies, the best practices out there. That's how you prevent accidents. That's how you save lives.
You said it better than I could have.
So to wrap things up today, is there any final piece of advice you'd give to those getting ready for these industrial firefighter interviews? What's that one golden nugget of wisdom you want them to remember?
Remember that an interview isn't just about showing off your skills, it's about proving you're the solution to their problems. Think about the unique challenges that come with this specific type of firefighting.
The hazards, the environments, the industry-specific risks.
Exactly. And then frame your answers in a way that shows how your dedication, your skills, your experience make you the answer to those challenges.
It's like saying, here's the problem, here's how I solve it, and here's how we'll keep getting better at solving it.
That's it in a nutshell.
And never underestimate the power of preparation.
Preparation is everything.
Both in terms of knowing your stuff and knowing how to present yourself confidently and effectively.
Couldn't agree more.
And that's where tools like RoleCatcher can be such a game changer.
Oh, yeah. RoleCatcher is a lifesaver.
That personalized feedback, those AI-powered insights, it's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
It's like having a personal coach guiding you every step of the way.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's not just about acing the interview, it's about building a successful and fulfilling career.
And more importantly, a safe one.
Absolutely well said. Well, folks, it looks like we've reached the end of another deep dive. We've covered a ton of ground today.
We sure have.
But hopefully you're walking away feeling energized and prepared to crush those industrial firefighter interviews.
Yeah, you got this.
And don't forget to check out that awesome career guide on RoleCatcher for even more tips and insights. It's a treasure trove of valuable information.
It really is.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time, stay safe out there.